बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मैं हूं नईमुल्ला फ़ारूकी और आप देख रहे हैं जोन ऑफ एजुकेशन यूट्यूब चैनल। हमने आज़ाद जम्मू एंड कश्मीर AJK पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन के हेडमास्टर, हेडमिस्ट्रेस, पेडागोजी, लेक्चर एजुकेशन के पास्ट पेपर का सलूशन उसका सिलसिला स्टार्ट किया हुआ है। ये दूसरा पास्ट पेपर है AJK का, हेडमास्टर हेडमिस्ट्रेस का। द राइटिंग एंड पब्लिशिंग ऑफ द टेक्स्ट बुक इज़ द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द प्रोविंशियल टेक्स्ट बुक बोर्ड्स. Number 2. When the Pakistan government entrusted the responsibility of the revision of the curricula of BA, BSc and MA, MSc level courses to the Higher Education Commission and National Academy of Higher Education, 1976. Question number 3. About subject of the various discipline are taught in the universities. 100 different subjects पढ़ाए जा रहे हैं. 4. There are 35 approximately working weeks in a year at primary and secondary level. 5. Medium of instruction at higher secondary and university level is Urdu and English. 6. When the federal funding of the universities was introduced and a recurring budget is allocated to the universities from the federal budget of the education. इसका दुरुस्त जवाब 2002 बनता है, यहाँ गिवन ऑप्शंस में नहीं था. करिकुलम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन शुड बी कंसिस्टेंट विद द यूनिफाइड मैनर इन विच स्टूडेंट लर्न. 8. द करिकुलम ऑफ द स्कूल डिटर्मिनिंग फैक्टर इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ द स्कूल. द करिकुलम ऑफ द स्कूल बी द डिटर्मिनिंग फैक्टर इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ द स्कूल. व्हेन द न्यू सिलेबस वर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड first time in Pakistan, 1961. 10 number question है. The curriculum should be formulated on changing basis. 11. The curriculum should be organized in terms of what is known about the development process. 12. How many aspects of vertical organization of the curriculum deserve attention? 3. Sequence, continuity and integration. 13. The curriculum should never be considered a finished or a final plan. 14. With the leadership of the principal and others, the staff should examine the program continuously. 15. The relatively unconscious learning that are inescapable of the daily living usually are referred to as informal education. The relatively unconscious learning that are inescapable accompaniments of the daily living usually are referred to as informal education. Number 16 है. From the psychological viewpoint, education implies change and can be regarded either as a process or as a product. 17. Through the educational process, an individual is stimulated to think, to appreciate and to act. 18. Attention must be given to the selection of appropriate learning materials and to the gearing of the teaching techniques to meet the learner needs. 19. Educational psychology as an area of psychological study is exerting powerful influence upon the formulation of educational objectives, the construction of the school curriculum and organization of the procedure. Teaching learning, इसका एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी का मेजर रोल टीचिंग लर्निंग में होता है. 20. Although educational psychology is a relatively new science, it is rapidly developing a body of reliable and pertinent subject matter. तो यहाँ पे educational psychology again. 21. The control of condition is a basic to the procedure experimental research. Experimental में हम control group बनाते हैं. 22. The learning process and the learning environment are closely associated. ये दोनों हमारे एजुकेशनल साइकोलॉजी के कंपोनेंट होते हैं. 23. Children should be taught about the democracy and while they are in school should be given an opportunity to experience the democratic way of life. 24. Teaching is an art as well as skill. Subtle interaction, difficult to discover, may exert a potent influence upon the degree of success. 25. Who conceived the idea that if the response of many individuals were arranged in an order of successful achievement, a large number would give evidence of relatively similar response, while a small number would tend towards superior or inferior performance respectively. Galton ने ये आइडिया दिया था कि स्टूडेंट्स को क्या करें आप, एक अरेंज करें इंडिविजुअल्स को एक ऑर्डर में उनकी अचीवमेंट के बेस पे। तो ये गाल्टन का कॉन्सेप्ट था। ड्यूरिंग द लेट 19वीं सदी के एंड पे टेस्ट्स वर डेवलप्ड फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ मेजरिंग सिंगल एबिलिटीज़ सच एज स्प्रेड ऑफ मूवमेंट, सेंसेशन, visual, auditory and reaction time. 27. French psychologist Alfred Binet concluded that intelligence is more than the sum of isolated function, and intelligent behavior should be evaluated in terms of activities that combines various items. 28. मैंने जितने भी एजुकेशन के पेपर देखे हैं, मुझे सबसे मुश्किल पेपर यही लगा है, क्योंकि इसमें ना जो पेपर सेटर है उसने क्या किया है, कोई बुक उठाई है और उसकी कोई स्टेटमेंट मतलब उठा के, कोई कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं पूछा गया, स्टेटमेंट उठाई है उसने और उसमें फिल इन द ब्लैंक देख के सवाल दे दिए। हालांकि ऐसे नहीं होता, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन ऐसे हैं जिनकी इवन स्टेटमेंट की समझ नहीं आ रही होती कि ये स्टेटमेंट में पूछा क्या जा रहा है। उसकी वजह ये होती है कि वो एक पैराग्राफ के अंदर से उसने कोई लाइन पकड़ी और उसको MCQs बना के दे दिया। Terman, an American psychologist, introduced the Binet test for general use in differentiating between degree of brightness and dullness. 29. Studies have been made concerning the effect of nursery school and kindergarten attendance upon the mental ability of young children. 30. In case of mental growth, the rate is more rapid during the early year and then levels off gradually until intellectual maturity is reached. तो mental जवाब है। 31. The concept of mental age as introduced by Binet is a helpful technique in interpretation of raw test scores. यहाँ पे Binet जवाब है। 32. What may be considered to be the qualities which all individuals possess in varying degrees? Aptitude. 33. Guidance in any area or on any level is conditioned by the learner's readiness to learn. तो गाइडेंस किसी भी लेवल पे आप जो है उसको तब देते हैं जब वो बच्चा खुद मतलब प्रिपेयर्ड हो कि उसने कुछ करना है। The word guidance means to show path. 35. Which report of children's behavior are becoming increasingly popular in some school systems? Anecdotal reports. 36. The record now used in some school systems are of cumulative variety. 37. The case study techniques involve a comprehensive study of an individual, including items of his history from birth onward and interpretation of the facts that have a bearing upon his behavior. 38. There usually are certain personality facts that can be understood and evaluated properly only through the intimate and informal relation that is possible in a well planned and sympathetically conducted. तो यहाँ पे इंटरव्यू है, इसका दुरुस्त जवाब। 39. Whether or not a diagnostic interview requires a same purpose depends upon the nature and extent of the problem, as in follow-up interview. Although 40 है, although some educational research is aimed at extending the boundaries of knowledge, the bulk of the educational research in recent years has been aimed at providing information tool and instrument for decision making. 41. The evaluation may be of the new curricular system and styles of decision making. 42. Controlled inquiry is based on the classic concept of the scientific experiment. 43. The researcher maintains distance between himself and what is to be studied. 44. Certain observation model would come into conceptual inquiry category. In these, an attempt is made to quantify data. 45. जैसे मैं बता रहा था कि कोई मतलब तुक ही नहीं बनता। एग्जामिनर पता नहीं किन ख्यालों में था, कोई पता नहीं क्या उसने समझ के ये वाला पेपर बनाया था। अब ये देखें ना, ये स्टेटमेंट, सर्टेन ऑब्जर्वेशनल मॉडल वुड कम इनटू कॉन्सेप्चुअल इंक्वायरी कैटेगरी। ये अब ये किसी बंदे की पर्सनल परसेप्शन भी हो सकती है। एक बंदे को ये चीज़ ऐसे लगता है कि वो अपनी ओपिनियन दे रहा होता है ना। अब ओपिनियन बेस्ड चीज़ें तो आप नहीं पूछ सकते इस तरह करके जनाबे वाला। बस क्या कह सकते हैं इसके AJK के इस पेपर सेटर को। बाकी पेपर ठीक थे। मैं अगले पेपर जो मैंने किए हैं, सॉल्व किए हुए हैं, तो वो आप देखेंगे रिकॉर्डिंग के अंदर इस पेपर में और उनमें बहुत फ़र्क होगा। या इससे पहले वाले में भी फ़र्क, वो बहुत ही टू द पॉइंट क्वेश्चन थे उसमें पहले वाले पेपर में, इसमें नहीं है। द बेसिस of the work may include analysis in order to get a picture of the environment, interviews and informal discussions. 46. A teacher is involved in such an activity, he can identify clearly with what is taking place. Anyone outside the action has difficulty comprehending what is taking place. 47. More recent definition often include effective group. Proposed definition assume the primary purpose of supervision to be the improvement of the learning through intelligent study, evaluation and modification of the condition affecting the learning situation. 48. The basic criterion for judging the quality of supervision or for providing for it is the extent to which it stimulates the educational process in constructive direction. 49. The effectiveness of the supervision is directly related to the level of emotional interaction that can be established and maintained. 50. The chief distinction lies in the emphasis today on planning with the people rather than planning without people. 51. Whether or not it is recognized by all the administrators and teachers, every school is organized, operated, administered according to philosophy of education. 52. The leadership process is a vital element of supervisory services. The true leader will seldom dictate, he will often guide. तो यहाँ पे ट्रू जवाब है। 53. सुपरविजन मस्ट बी कंसिडर्ड एंड कंटिन्यूस प्रोसेस। सुपरविजन जो है वो कंटिन्यूस होनी चाहिए। 54. इट इज़ जनरली कंसीडर्ड दैट साइकोलॉजिकल कंसिडरेशन आर मोर इम्पोर्टेंट दैन लॉजिकल कंसिडरेशन इन द यूजुअल टीचिंग लर्निंग प्रोसेस। साइकोलॉजिकल से लॉजिकल से साइकोलॉजिकल ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होती हैं। 55. इट इज़ जनरली एक्सेप्टेड एज अ फैक्ट दैट इंटेलेक्चुअल ग्रोथ and maturity are closely related to the ability to cope with the abstract ideas. 56. The whole process of supervision is unjustified and wasteful unless it has a qualified and professional supervisor. 57. The primary purpose of supervision is to extend vision of the teacher and learners. 58. The element of aspiration and motivation are considered to be exceedingly strong influence on shaping the quality and affecting the result of the individual efforts. 59. Which is operated within the framework of many contextual arrangement learning program. 60. Effective supervisory effort is closely related to situational problem which exist among the staff members. 60 जी सिचुएशनल इसका जवाब है। 61 है, व्हाट अपेयर्स टू बी डिफाइंड एज डूइंग एज आई वुड लाइक यू टू डू कोऑपरेशन। 62. द बेस्ट रिजल्ट आर अचीव्ड व्हेन ऑल द पार्टिसिपेटिंग मेंबर वर्क हैप्पीली एंड इफेक्टिवली टुगेदर। 63. द लेवल ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग एंड अमाउंट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस of each teacher are essential consideration in evaluating and diagnosing the teaching performance. 64. A recognition of individual difference is an essential factor in effective supervision. 65. Which development has become more and more cooperative in nature? Research development ज़्यादा cooperative है nature. 66. Every effort should be made to help people to develop the skills of the clear communication. Much of such ability comes as a result of the working together. 67. If evaluation is to serve as the chief basis for determining the nature and direction of the proposed changes in education, it must be never-ending process. 68. The element of kindness, respect and the charity are essential tenets of the religious faith and of the democratic way of life. 69. Increasingly is establishing facts and uncovering the possibilities related to improvement in education. Educational research इस पे इसका दुरुस्त जवाब है. 70. Effectiveness in group process is learned through practice in interchange of ideas. 71. A measurement is simply a quantitative description of observed data. 72. If the learner is to make satisfactory progress, he need to know from what to what he is progressing. 73. To great emphasis cannot be placed upon the need of the school assuming responsibility for the personal and social development of the children and young people. 74. The influence that are present in the home, the school and the community constitute educational media that may stimulate or retard desirable development. 75. By means of measuring devices and interpretation of result, a teacher is aided in his diagnosis of the individual weaknesses of his pupil and can adopt his teaching to them. 76. The utilization of instrument of the measurement should be an important part of the teaching and learning. 77. Evaluation involves the use of any types of instrument for appraisal. 78. The appraisal process must depend upon many sources for the collection of the valuable data. 79. The concept of inclusiveness is important, particularly in relation to the diagnostic phases of evaluation. 80. The process of evaluation to be truly effective must include some areas of hopefulness in its outcomes. 81. In measuring is highly desirable when one is attempting to appraise the amount of growth of an individual learner or teacher. इसका दुरुस्त जवाब objectivity बनता है. I repeat, objectivity in measuring is highly desirable when one is attempting to appraise the amount of growth of an individual learner or teacher. He needs to imply the instrument of the measurement which are as free from the personal bias as possible. 82. In as much as इसका जवाब है productivity of a learner or teacher is affected by other persons, the quality of the outcomes of the productive effort should be evaluated on a cooperative basis if the truest and the most beneficial form of evaluation is to be achieved. 83. As a basic purpose of evaluation is continuous growth. It has been stated many times that nothing succeeds like success itself. 84. Curriculum study must be followed by some type of appraisal of current practice and emphasizes if it is to result in improvement. 85. The evaluation of the performance of an instruction involves the evaluation of all its major components, which includes teaching, learning strategies, resources and staff. 86. The purpose of evaluation is also a significant factor which should be considered in advance. 87. Who has defined evaluation as examining and judging the worth, quality, significance, amount, degree or condition of something? Webster. 88. A particular continuing and cyclic activity involving a number of steps and operation is called decision alternatives. 89. Institution, like any other organization, requires knowing they are progressing in terms of the performance is a prime management function. Development. 90. Education, after all, has certain objectives, and when we go through the details of the process in which teaching learning has taken place, it could help us to form a reasonable judgment. 91. The most satisfactory report are those of interpreter involved in action. 92. One of the most noteworthy feature of modern supervision is emphasis on human relationship. 93. It is no pure accident the quality of the educational practice almost invariably appears to be best in standard systems staffed by happy, secure and enthusiastic persons who know how to live and work together effectively. 94. As a supervision has developed into an integral part of the total pattern of evaluation, many definition of it have emerged. मेरी दो बुक्स हैं, एक जोन ऑफ एजुकेशन ऑब्जेक्टिव एडिशन है और एक सब्जेक्टिव एडिशन है, दोनों मार्केट में अवेलेबल हैं। AJK में भी आपको आपके किसी भी होम एड्रेस पे हम भिजवा सकते हैं। ऑब्जेक्टिव एडिशन में पास्ट पेपर सोल्ड फॉर्म में है, सब्जेक्टिव नोट्स की शक्ल में है, दोनों यूनिक बुक्स हैं। इंशाल्लाह इनके पाए की किताबें आपको मार्केट में नहीं मिलेंगी। 0332 80 55 905 ये व्हाट्सएप नंबर है। आप AJK या पाकिस्तान भर में कहीं से भी बैठ के ये किताबें अपने होम एड्रेस पर डिस्काउंटेड रेट पे मंगवा सकते हैं। अच्छा जी, क्वेश्चन नंबर नेक्स्ट है 95। इंटर यूनिवर्सिटी बोर्ड वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन 1952, यूनिवर्सिटी ग्रांट कमीशन वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन 1974, HEC was established in 2002. How many universities were working in West Pakistan at the time of partition? सिर्फ एक, टोटल दो थी। Which university was functional at the time of partition? पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी। 100 क्वेश्चन है, how many colleges were working in the Pakistan at the time of partition? 40। तो अगला पेपर हमारा पास्ट पेपर है SS बायो सब्जेक्ट स्पेशलिस्ट बायो का, और इसमें जो 30 मार्क्स का जो पेडागोजी का पोर्शन है वो होगा इंशाल्लाह। अगली वीडियो लाजमी देखिएगा। चैनल का लिंक, वीडियो का लिंक अपने दोस्तों के साथ लाजमी शेयर करें। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।